Have you ever felt stuck trying to learn something new? Maybe it's a new language that you want to learn, or it's a instrument that you really want to play. May it be mastering a hobby like makeup, video editing, cooking, and all kind of hobbies out there. It might seem to be too overwhelming, right? But what if I told you that self-learning isn't as hard as you seem once you know what's the right step to do? I'm here today to exactly share how you can master any skill that you want on your own. Before we dive in, if you are excited to learn more about self-growth and mastering new skills, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave the comment down below. Also, share it to someone who's also interested in this learning journey. So let's get started. I want to share my own personal learning journey, what I've learned so far in terms of self-learn and also my background. So when I moved to United States, at first I was so terrified. I'm like, imagine living in a country that English is not your first language, but you still have to be engaged in the language to just do the simplest thing like buying groceries and then like learning and understanding the teacher, literally everything. I have to rely on my second language. But the thing is, I also improve myself every day. I push myself every day. And one day I actually get to stand in front of the public, specifically in front of 150 people, and I get to deliver a speech in English. I'm like, wait a second, how did I get there? How did I get from someone who was so insecure about her own English to 2 years later, I get to speak to like 150 people at once? And that was a huge moment for me because it made me realize that how far I've come and I can also do even better. So trust me, whatever that I can achieve, you can achieve too. So as long as you set in mind clearly what you want to achieve, you will get there. And I will be the friend that will always push you to get there. Don't forget to subscribe. So next, let's move on to the concept of self-learning and how do we actually approach self-learning. Alright, learning something new, whether it's learning a language, like for me, I'm currently learning Cantonese and I also try to improve my Mandarin, or I also like to play piano because I like to listen to the piano. And all you need to do is that everything has to start from the basics. You cannot run before you walk, right? That's just how it is. So when I start learning Cantonese, I focus more on like the simple things like the pronounce I, you, she, they, or like basic vocabulary like hello, how are you, yes, no, like, don't like, and things like that. And it's about getting comfortable with the language before you moving on the complex stuff. And it's the same thing with the piano. You don't start playing piano with that fancy songs that people take 10 years to learn. You don't do that, okay? You start by learning the notes, the difference between the treble clef and the bass clef, and the type of notes are there, and later the finger positions, and eventually how to use both hands to play piano. Just build that foundation first and then move forward. For the mindset, think about it like building a house. All you need to do is build a solid foundation before you can build the walls and eventually put the roof on it. Next part is to utilize the tools to self-learn. Personally, I love YouTube. I've been in YouTube and I've been like dive deep in YouTube since like, I don't know how long, maybe like 10 years ago. Other than YouTube, I also really like ChatGPT now. ChatGPT recently has improved and it's life-changing. If you've never been to like ChatGPT that often yet, it's time to go in there. And I'll tell you in detail about how you can utilize ChatGPT to learn any skill that you want to learn. Alright, let's dive deep to each of the tools that I use. So for the first one, YouTube. YouTube really helped me a lot. So at first I would search on YouTube like how to learn piano as a beginner. And later when I figure out things a bit better, understand the theory, and I get to improve to how can I play piano with both hands and how can I play piano beautifully. Something like that. It gets deeper and deeper when time goes on. And ChatGPT, you actually have to ask the right question to get the right answer. And here's one example that I can show you immediately. So I have my iPad here and I have ChatGPT with me. And let's say my goal is to learn Cantonese and I'm new, right? What would I do and what would I say to ChatGPT to help me? And just use this prompt for every skill that you want to learn. Give me a 30-day plan to learn Cantonese as a beginner. And now ChatGPT is literally giving me everything. Start from the basic. Week 1, learn about the tones. Yeah, I did learn about the tones. There are like 6 tones. And then learn learn the introduction like hello, goodbye, and also day 3, learn the pronouns. And you see, as the list goes down, it's more detailed. Like you have the week 2 about daily conversations, and week 3 practical applications, week 4 expanding the vocabulary or listening skills. Yeah, it's so much, and this you can use to learn like everything. You want to learn guitar, you can do the same thing. Just give me a 30-day plan to learn guitar as a beginner. Also, you see on the bottom of this, ChatGPT also give you like resources to use, and these are literally the resources that I am currently using to learn my Cantonese. I use Anki app, and I also use ChatGPT to create Anki app flashcards for me. If you don't know what Anki app is, that's basically like an app where you can have like the flashcard like front and back, just like Quizlet, and it can help you to train the new vocabulary that you never heard before or that you heard but sometimes you just forget it. After the tools that you need to use to be good at something that you want to learn, the next thing is to practice. That's one concept that I want to share with you, is that if you want to be good at learning something, you have to understand how to learn properly. And there's one picture that I will show in this video, and this is about the cone of learning. So basically, about 90% of the things that you say, that you put in practice, you will remember it. And you can only remember about 10% of the things that you read. Like, give it an example. If I give you a book and I want you to read for 15 minutes, can you say me exactly what's the first sentence in that book? No, because you just read it and it's just like shoo, just gone. But if you actually explain the concept to somebody, and now I ask you, tell me about this book, what did you learn from it? And you will be like blah 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 blah, because you remember that you said it. And that's the concept that you need to know. You have to put in the practice. For piano, all you need to do is buy that piano. So easy, right? Buy piano and put some time to press the piano and make some great music with it. Don't just cram in all the information. But if you don't have the piano, where can you play it? For learning language, the best way to learn is to speak. The easiest way, if you don't have friends who speak the language that you want to learn, speak to yourself. Speak in your heart, or when you're in your room by yourself, you can just practice speaking it or saying after the people who are native. Maybe you watch a movie or something, right? And also, it's helpful to have somebody who's by yourself to help you. That can be your friend who is fluent in that language, and just speak more with them. Next point I want to talk about is about tracking your progress. I believe that only the things that you track will improve. So no matter what it is, always track it. My way of tracking it is that I always like to record myself doing things. Let's say I like to record what's my current level of piano. I have a bunch of video in my laptop about when I played piano on the first time, and also my latest time. In terms of language, I track it in notebooks. And how do I track my language skill, right? Basically, in every category in that language, you give yourself a score of your current level. So speaking, reading, writing, and listening, I give it a score. Maybe once in a while, I'll give it every quarter, right? So I put the number in it. Maybe listening to Cantonese is 80%, and next quarter I feel actually it's 95%, something like that. And funny thing is that when I do this kind of exercise, I find myself that I put the grade lower than before. But I know that I learn much more thing, I'm more better at speaking it. But it's just, I realize I know so less after I learn a lot. I'm pretty sure some of you relate to me right now. The next point that I want to cover is that you have to find your motivation. It's so cliche, right? Everybody always say that you have to know your why. But that is exactly why it is important. You have to know it. So why am I learning this skill, right? Why am I learning piano? Let me tell you, I can give you the answer right away because I know what's that why. It's what that keeps me going even though it's tough. So piano, why I learn piano? Because that is the instrument that I find the most beautiful out of so many instruments. And every time I hear it, I just fell in love. And I want to be able to one day just play the piano, maybe for my friend's birthday or somebody's wedding. I can just play play piano for them, or I can just like have a random talent show. That's just something that I want to do and I vision myself to be able to do. And for my learning language, for my learning Cantonese and learning Mandarin, my why is because, first of all, Cantonese, I love it. That's like, people always say that, hey, French is the sexiest language in this world, or like Spanish is the most beautiful language in the world. And you know what? What's for me? That's Cantonese. I'm not even kidding. If you guys ever heard Cantonese, that's so beautiful. I'm like, I really want to be able to speak that. Who knows, if my partner speak Cantonese, I can speak with his family. So much things that I can use this Cantonese for. I can like go to a restaurant and understand what they speak. I can go to like Hong Kong, Guangzhou and like speak it. Yeah, I have like the why, like that strong. That's how strong my why is, and that's what keep me learning Cantonese for like the past 3 years, and I never stop it. Once I have the thought that, oh damn, Cantonese is so beautiful and I want to be good at it, I just never stop learning. I'm so like, literally last night I was like reviewing my vocabulary in Cantonese in Anki app. So that's what it is. Know your why. Now you know all of this, but what if you're stuck? And I'm gonna give you some tips. If you're stuck, the most important thing is to ask for help. Let's say you spend so much time but you don't see any improvement. You're just like, God dang it, why am I not improving? And what should I do? My answer for you is go find somebody who are good at what it is and ask them for some advice. Because especially if you tell them like where you're going, where you're stuck at right now, they will give you like the solution on that, and just do exactly how they tell you, because they are good at it, because they have done it. And if you do what they tell you, you will be as good as them. You know what I'm saying? Always reach out to your friends, or if you have mentors. If you don't, it's fine. You can go to YouTube, like find people like me who always share my knowledge, and we love to share. That's why we are here. So to wrap up, self-learning doesn't have to be scary. Just start with the basics and remember to use the right tools, whether it's YouTube, ChatGPT, or learning language do you use Anki app. That's helpful. Next, you can also track your progress. You have to know your why and stay motivated. That's it. And if you are stuck, don't afraid to ask for help. We know that learning a language can be tough sometimes, but with the right mindset and tools and practice, you can master literally everything that you set your mind into. Trust me, I believe this, and that has made me improve so much in my life. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, give me a like, and share it to friends who will need this. Maybe they are learning something new. Share it to them. So drop comment down below what's the next skill that you want to learn, and I'd love to hear more about it from you guys. See you guys on the next video. Bye bye.